So proceeding on to the next question, that is your question number 9. A mass m of water is at a temperature of 290 Kelvin. The specific heat capacity of water is C. Ice at its melting point is added to the water to reduce the water temperature to the freezing point. Okay. So initially there is the water. Okay. So that means over here there is water. Okay. So the mass of the water is m. Okay, and the temperature of the water, that is initial temperature, so this is equal to how much? It's given to be 290 Kelvin. Okay, and what is happening? This is the initial state. Okay, so this is the initial state. Now what is happening over here is that, so suppose there is ice. Okay, over here this is the slab of ice. Okay, and the ice is at its melting point is added to the water. Okay, so that means the ice is at its melting point. Okay, ice is at its melting point. So what will happen when this ice will be added to this water at 290 Kelvin? Finally what will happen? Finally we'll get that, what is happening finally? So finally what is happening? The water is coming to its freezing point. Okay, so that means over here the water over here, so that means over here the temperature will be 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that means the final temperature of the water in the jar, okay, so that means this will be equal to your 273 Kelvin. Okay, so over here by the conservation of energy I can write that the initial energy of the water in the jar, okay, so plus the energy that is added, okay, by the ice, so this will be equal to your nothing but, so this will be equal to your final energy of the water in the jar. Okay, so that means over here I can write that, see, what is the initial energy of the water in this jar? The initial energy is what? M into C into T initial. Okay, now what is the energy that is added? So the energy that is being added is that, see over here, when the ice will come in contact to the water, what will happen? The ice will change its state. Okay, so the ice will change its state from your ice to your water, from your ice to your water, right? And we know that for ice to change its state from ice to water, it needs energy, right? And how much energy it needs, right? It needs ml energy, right? Mass into latent heat of fusion, right? So who will supply this ml energy? The water which is at 290 Kelvin will supply this energy ml, right? So that means the energy being added is what? Is minus ml. Why? Because from this initial thermal energy we are taking away ml heat, right? So minus of ml, where m is the mass of the ice. Okay, so this is equal to your nothing but your mc into tf, that is the final energy, right? So from here I can write that ml is nothing but is equal to your mc ti minus of tf. Okay, so that means over here I can write that the mass of the ice will be equal to your mc by capital L ti minus of tf, right? So what is initial temperature? Initial temperature is 290 Kelvin, right? So mc by L, so initial temperature is 290 minus what is the final temperature? 273, right? So that means the mass of ice that is needed is nothing but this is equal to your 17 mc by L. So the correct option to your question number 9 will be option number A. So I hope you got the question. So proceeding on to the next question, that is your question number 10. An ideal gas is in a closed container which changes to its volume and temperature when taken together must cause a decrease in the gas pressure. So as the gas is ideal, over here I can write that PV, this is equal to your nRT, right? So from here I can write that pressure is nothing but your nRT by V. Okay, so now see that nr, so this is equal to a constant, right? Number of moles into universal gas constant. Okay, so this is a constant. Okay, so for nr I can write that nr can be replaced by k. Okay, so as it is a constant I am replacing nr with a constant k. So over here k t by v. Okay, so that means from here I can see that pressure is inversely proportional to your volume and pressure is directly proportional to your temperature. Okay, why can I write that? See, when you will merge these two, we'll get this equation. So that means what happens is that as pressure is inversely proportional to your volume, what happens? So as volume increases, pressure decreases, right? And pressure is directly proportional to your temperature. So as temperature decreases, pressure decreases, right? So that means when the volume will increase, so when the volume will increase and the temperature will decrease pressure will decrease. Okay, so that means for pressure to decrease, the volume must increase and the temperature must decrease. Okay, so that means the correct option to your question number 10 is option number D, that volume must increase and pressure and temperature must decrease. Okay, I hope you got the question.